Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. Mouton, and I'm going to give you a video lesson today on finding the start time using a T-chart. I know that it's a difficult skill for you all to do. Elapsed time has been a challenge for us, but I think this is the most difficult. So if you can master this, you're going to be okay with the other ones. Remember that we're going to use the same exact strategy, just with a few little small differences in it. Okay, so first of all, remember to concentrate on the fact, or focus in on the fact, that we are now looking for the start time. And if you'll look, I've already started to set up this problem for you. Where you would normally have the start time, there's nothing there. They've given you the end time of 12:54 and the elapsed time of 2 hours and 23 minutes. So the start time is what we are looking for. It is the question that we're trying to answer. So what do we need to do first? Of course, we need to set up our T-chart and put in the labels. Hours and minutes goes to the left and time goes to the right. Normally at this point we would put the word start as the first item on our T-chart, but remember, we don't have the start time. We're looking for the start time. So what are we going to do? We're going to put the word end, because we do have the end time, which is 12:54. And now from this point, because we're starting at the very end, instead of going ahead to the end, we have to work backwards in order to get to the beginning. So we're going to need to remember that we are counting backwards on this T-chart. And I think that's the most difficult part of the skill, to remind your brain that now the counting has to go backwards, because you're looking to go back to the start time. So for example, if this were a word problem, it may say something like, Mrs. Mouton left the movie at 12:54. The movie was 2 hours and 23 minutes long. What time did the movie start? So I would have to count backwards or work backwards in order to find my start time for the movie. They don't give it to me this time. So we're just going to put this over here on the side so we can remind ourselves. And that's one of the most difficult things to do with this skill, is just to constantly remind yourself that you are counting backwards. So your numbers are going to descend now instead of ascending. They're not going to be getting larger, they're going to be getting smaller, because you're going to be working backwards. So now that we have our end time on there, which is 12:54, we follow the same exact steps that we normally follow on our T-chart, which is looking at the hours first. So we're going to work backwards, taking the hours away, 1 hour at a time. And the good thing here is we don't have to guess about how many hours we're going to need to show on our T-chart, because it tells us right down here in the elapsed time that they want us, the elapsed time, to include 2 hours. So again, we are working backwards. If we go back 1 hour in time, it will take us to 11:54. Notice that only the hour side changed. It became an 11. The minute side didn't change, because we're not dealing with the minutes right now. So it's 11:54. Some of you have been having a difficult time working with the T-chart and remembering that you don't change the minute and the hour side together, that we're separating them and we're handling the hours and the minutes separately. So since we were only going back an hour, again, only the hour side of that time has changed to be 11:54. So we've done 1 hour, but again, our elapsed time tells us we have to go do 2 hours. So we'll go back another hour for a total of 2 hours to 10:54. All right, so we've exhausted all of our hours. It told us it only wanted 2, and we've got them, 1, 2. So now we have to start with the minutes. And how many minutes do they want us to go back? The elapsed time needs to be 23 minutes, and it shows us right there on the bottom, so we don't even have to guess about the minutes. It's going to be 23 minutes. When we take a look at our time that we have on the T-chart. It's 10:54. Because it's 10:54, it is not a 10 and it is not a 5. Remember, we said the easiest things for us to count by are 10s, 5s, and 1s. Maybe when you get in some of the upper grades, you may be able to count by different numbers. But what I'm finding right now is that fourth graders tend to make careless mistakes when they try to count by any intervals other than 10s, 5s, or 1s. So because this is not a 10 or a 5, we're going to count by 1s here until we get to a 10 or 5. So we went 1 minute, which brings us to 10:53. And we have to go a total of 23 minutes, so we'll keep on going. Another minute will bring us to 10:52. Going back again, counting backwards, another minute will take us to 10:51. So far we've counted 3 minutes, but we have to count 23 minutes. Another minute puts us at 10:50. And when I get to 10:50, I notice that that last digit is a 0, okay? Which tells me now it would be easy for me to count by 10s. Could I keep going by 1s? Absolutely. Could I count by 5s? Yes, I could do that too. But the easiest increment at this point for us to count by would be by 10s because 50 is a 10. So I'm going to go 10 minutes to 10:40. All right. Now that I'm at 10:40, I have to see if I can go another 10 minutes more. Remember, the elapsed time says it only wants us to go 23 minutes, a total of 23 minutes. When I look at the hours, I have gone my 2 hours, which is my 2 hours there. And then I see that I've gone 14 minutes if I count my 1 minute intervals there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 10 more and add them together. I've gone a total of 14 minutes. But I want to go 23 minutes. If I do another 10 minutes, I'm going to end up at 24 minutes of time having passed. Okay? The elapsed time will be 24 minutes. But my problem told me that I only need to go 23 minutes. So if that's how long the movie was, I can't change it and make it 24. It's got to be 23 because that's the information they gave me at the beginning. So I'm not going to be able to go 10 minutes because, again, it will take me too far. It will take me to 24. So let's try 5 because it did end in a 0. And we know when we count by 5s, we come to 5, 10, 15, 20. So that can work for us also. So go back 5 minutes to 10:35. Once I get to 10:35, now I have 19 minutes of time elapsed. Moving backwards again, 19 minutes. But that's not how far I want to go. Remember that I have to go to 23 minutes. So now I can't go another 5 because if I go another 5 again, it's going to take me too far. It's going to get me to 24 minutes again. So I'll need to count back by 1s. 1 minute will take me to 10:34. Another 1 minute will take me to 10:33. Remember, I need a total of 23 minutes. So right now I have 19, 20, 21 minutes. 22 minutes if I go another 1 minute to 10:32. And if I go the complete 23 minutes, it will take me to 10:31. Again, remembering that I'm counting backwards. And if I want to double check my work, which I always should, I'll look to make sure I went 23 minutes. So I like to add like things together. It's easier. 10 and 5 is easy to add together. That gives me 15. And then there's 4 1-minute intervals up there, which gives me just 4. If I add that 10, that 4, and that 15 together, that will give me 19. And then add that 4 at the bottom for a total of 23 minutes altogether. So my elapsed time was 23 minutes. And if I go back to the top and count, 2 hours. So 2 hours and 23 minutes have I've now gone backwards, working backwards to find out where my start time is. And my start time is 10:31. So that becomes my answer up here. My start time is 10:31. If whatever it is, movie, game, party ended at 12:54 and it lasted for 2 hours and 23 minutes, it would have had to have started at 10:31.